taco time on Left Off the Map. It's Tuesday and I'm making a vegetarian taco, one that you can have with a soft shell taco or a hard shell taco. The trick with vegetarian dishes is not just have it be a substitute for a meat dish, but have it be able to stand on its own and be enjoyable for everyone. So I'm going to use my eggplant almost like you would normally use mince, but we're going to pump it up with lots and lots of flavour. The first thing I want to make is a sweet and sour chili sauce to be able to brush on top of our eggplant as it cooks. In a small pot, I'm going to add some sherry vinegar, the juice of 1 lime, and then some palm sugar. And the sherry vinegar and the lime juice will add our sour component. That palm sugar will sweeten it up. And then I've got some sriracha, which I'll add as well, just to give it a kick of that chili flavour. So cook that until the palm sugar melts into the liquid, and then we can move on to our eggplant. So I'll pop this on. Eggplant. Now, most eggplants these days, you don't need to salt them. If you want to salt it just to be sure, cut your eggplant in half, sprinkle it with some salt, and that'll draw the moisture out of the eggplant. That gets rid of any of that bitter flavour. Then, once you've done that, you want to score the eggplant. Allows it to cook a lot faster and more even. All right, so they're scored. Pop them into a roasting tray. Once this has melted, that's going to be our basting liquor that we can brush on top of our eggplant, pop it in the oven. Then every 10 minutes or so, give it another brush. It'll take about half an hour to 45 minutes for the eggplant to cook. And then it will come out and we can start making our filling. The eggplant's got about 10 minutes to go, so I can start building the rest of the base for this taco. Some mushrooms. Just chop them sort of roughly. I need a little bit of olive oil. Pop them in, and as soon as you pop them in, add some salt in. That salt will help draw the moisture out of the mushrooms as well. Pop them in, and then a pinch of salt. And then along with that, I've just got a cheek of a red capsicum, which I'll dice up. So we'll cook that off. The basting liquid that we made with the palm sugar, the vinegar, the lime juice, and the sriracha, we're going to add that into this mix as well. So you're still going to get that sweet, sour, sort of chili flavour from it. Once this is cooked down, we'll add that in. Then our eggplant will be ready. We can scoop that eggplant out and mix that with our mushroom mix. Keep cooking it until we're happy with the consistency. And then we'll add in some black beans. Then our filling is pretty much ready to go. I'm going to turn the oven off and just pop my 2 different types of taco shell or tortillas in there to heat through. So our corn ones, our hard shell taco, just going to place this on a roasting tray. The residual heat in the oven will just toast them nicely, spread them out. They can go in. And then my soft ones, I'm just going to wrap in a little bit of foil. Pop them in. Only need about 10 minutes. And that heat will just bring them to life as well. I'll pop those in. And now I can deal with my eggplant. So you just want to scrape the flesh away from the skin. Your eggplant, pop that in with our bean mixture. And then I'm going to cook that out a little bit longer in the fry pan. So I'll turn this on and make sure we've got rid of any residual moisture. It's looking pretty good. You don't have any pools forming in the mix. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna serve that just to freshen it up a little bit with some cos lettuce and shred that. You can hear how crunchy that is when the knife's going through it. We'll do the soft ones first. Nice and warm. They're nice and pliable, nice and warm, nice and fresh. And plate one of the soft-shelled ones up. You get your mixture. Pop that in our tortilla. And then that fresh shredded cos lettuce on top. So that's the soft-shelled version for our taco, or our vegetarian taco. Now we can do the hard shell. Pop your filling in. And some lettuce, some of that shredded lettuce on top. Nice and fresh. And that is my version of a vegetarian taco. Like I said, it's not just a substitute, it's a dish that can stand on its own. It's packed full of flavour. It's nice and healthy. And you're sort of contrasting that huge amount of flavour that's in that eggplant mixture, that sweet and sour chilli, with the freshness of the lettuce. And you can go for a soft one or a hard shell, and they're absolutely beautiful. Henry Terry is visiting Ironhouse Distillery, just south of St Helens, on the east coast of Tasmania.
Briggsy, thank you very much for having me here today. It's an absolutely special spot at White Sands. You guys brew, distill, make whiskey.
We do.
Yeah.
In fact, yeah. Look,
tell us a bit about it.
thank you, and welcome to Ironhouse. We're located here right in smack bang on the east coast at Ironhouse Point. We're very blessed where we are, and that's certainly what we focus on in our manufacturing of our spirit, of our whiskey. We've got a beautiful beach 100 metres from the distillery, and it's sort of, it just brings everything and the character of our brand and the character of our spirit all to the glass, being so close to the Tasman Sea, hence the namesake, Tasman whiskey. The environment that we're surrounded with is, as I said, is our main strength. We draw on our own spring water for all of our cutting of our whiskey, and obviously with the sea air that we have here with the spirit in barrels, that wood really takes on that characteristic of the salt air that we have coming through our bond store. It's unique, the fact that we're only 100 metres from our main beach, and on a northeasterly wind flow, we're getting all those beautiful salt air coming through our bond store, and that wood just loves sucking that salt back into our spirits. So it's about harnessing where we are and what we are, and that's reflective of our spirit. So we're very fortunate. We're very happy in the way our spirit's coming through at the moment.
Yeah, ripper. And for a layman like me that doesn't know a lot about whiskey, how do you make it?
Well, it's not far removed from beer. It's everything part of a beer production run as a wash run without adding the hops. So we're starting with the same base raw material, which is malted barley. Yep. It's Tasmanian malted barley. We're buying that in from basically Joe White Maltings in Devonport, and we're bringing that down the coast here, and we're using that base malt spirit for base malt for our malted barley for all of our whiskies. So it's Tasmanian grown, Tasmanian made, and it's everything that makes Tasmania so good in regards to what we produce.
Okay, so yeah, you get your malt, and then you're pulling the sugars from the malt.
Exactly, we're extracting the sugar from the malt, which obviously mixed with yeast, turns back into alcohol. Yep. And then we're distilling that alcohol back into ethanol out of that through that distillation process.
Okay, cool. And so once you've got that distillation, that's the spirit.
That is the spirit, and then it needs to be housed in beautiful wood barrels.
Yep.
For minimum 2 years. All of our whiskey that we release is basically matured for minimum of 4 years.
Yep. Brilliant. So these barrels, you've got a vineyard as well.
We do.
So whiskey gets a lot of its flavour from the barrel.
Correct.
And your barrels have had your wine in it. Is that correct?
We're finishing some of our, particularly this one here, we are finishing some of our whiskey in our Pinot casks. We've got the beauty of having a vineyard on site, and we're able to actually use our Pinot barrels and finishing our spirit for the last 6 to 12 months back through our own Pinot barrels that have had our Pinot in it as well. So
Incredible.
It's quite a unique opportunity for us to be able to draw on everything that we've got here. We are very sustainable in what we do, and we try to pollinate everything we do into the one. So
every step of the process puts a bit of the place into the whiskey.
Absolutely.
Incredible.
Absolutely, yeah.
Incredible. And so what do you look for? I'm an absolute whiskey newbie.
Yep.
What do you look for in a good Pinot? This is a Pinot.
It's Pinot finish, this one.
Pinot
so
finish.
look, you want something, once it hits the sort of front of your palate, to be able to go through, I guess, a real sensory, travel through your palate, because you got your front, mid and back of the palate. Predominantly, I think the best way to drink whiskey and what you're looking to drink with whiskey is a conversation. And that's what it's about. It's about talking with a mate or talking with a group of friends that are trying it and saying, hey, what are you picking up? Because everyone's palates are different. So there's no rule to it. You certainly don't spit it out like wine. You want to make sure that you do get the full effect of sitting down and having a good single malt whiskey.
Yeah, wow. Beautiful. Can we have a look?
Absolutely, absolutely. So as I said, we've got our Pinot finish cask single malt Tasman whiskey, and you'll see certainly with the colour.
Yep.
All of our whiskies come out at around 47% after we've basically cut it from our cask strength of 63%.
Okay.
You'll see quite a red hue that sort of carries through that spirit, and that's obviously reflective of the red wine barrel that it's been housed in for the last
There you go. Yep.
8 months of its journey. So again, you'll get a touch. You'll see it's quite a viscous spirit. You'll see what we call legs and it clinging to the glass.
So viscous being quite thick, for want of a
correct.
better
What
word.
we call it's got some legs.
It seems really. It's probably not the right word to use, but syrupy. It's like it's really thick and
Yes.
it smells. It smells really full and bold. I don't know how to do.
Look, again,
aromatics, but
no. Look, I can tell you're going to get your salted caramels coming through with that. But again, if I tell you that, you might pick up something different. But certainly, there's a real salted caramel aspect to that particular expression that we're trying here today.
So, are you available for tours as well, or is it?
Yeah, by appointment. We offer tours. Absolutely. It's just a case of giving us a call and we're very accommodating for that.
Brilliant. Well, I might head out to the front and take in the views over a whiskey.
Sounds good.
But I'll definitely bring my missus here sometime.
Bring her along.
Good date spot.
Absolutely, mate.
Thank you very much.
Good on you. Thanks,
Cheers.
mate.
Blue eye trevally is a seafood or a fish that is readily available in the southern states of Australia, so around Tasmania and Victoria. It's a deep sea fish and is beautiful when it's cooked delicately. It stays nice and moist. It's got big flakes of protein, so it's a really good fish too. It's almost kind of steaky. So I'm going to do blue eye trevally with guacamole, but I'm going to blitz the guacamole to make it more of a puree. So first thing I want to do, I've got a whole side of blue eye. I just want to take that apart. So you can see here there are still some bones. This is the barrel or the loin, and this is the belly. Those bones there, I just want to cut those out. Run your knife along that bone area. And just take out that barrel piece. Straight down the bloodline. That. So we now have our belly portion and our barrel portion with the bones taken out. So now we can make our puree. For my puree, I've got a tomato, which I'm just going to de-seed and dice. So take off the bottom and the top. And run your knife just inside the flesh. And then roll it and cut the core. So that's the core or the heart of the tomato, which is where all the seeds are. Then you've got the flesh and the skin. I'm just going to roughly chop that. And that's going to go into our food processor with our avocado, some dill, which is going to go nicely with that fish, some green spinach, lemon juice, and some of our guacamole spice mix. Avocado, just want to take the stone out, just cut through the middle, give it a twist. And then get yourself a spoon and you can spoon that flesh out. I'm just going to do the same with the same thing to the spinach and the dill. So again, just chop that reasonably roughly because it is going to get blitzed. Chop that up, and then all of these things, our avocado, our tomatoes, dill, spinach, a little bit of lemon juice and our spice mix, we're going to go into this food processor and we'll blitz it until it's nice and smooth. And that's our avocado puree done. We've got to come back and cook our fish. My avocado puree is done. Good thing about this little gadget is that it's battery powered, so you can take it anywhere. Still got all the power that you want. You can take it with you. It's always good to have a little food processor like that anywhere you go if you're cooking. Now I've got to cook my fish. Now this is skin off. So that whole idea of, and blue eyes you can cook skin on, it is quite a nice skin. But the whole idea of keeping it skin side down to crisp it up, we don't have to worry about. So I'll put my gas on sort of a medium heat, a little bit of oil. This is a lean fish. It's not like salmon that has those natural oils in it, which makes it a little bit more user-friendly, a little bit more forgiving. So we do need a little bit of oil to cook this in. Barrel, I want to take a portion off my barrel, about that size. The belly part of the fish is something that's really, really good cooked over charcoal or cooked on a barbecue. Really enjoys, because there's a bit more fat in the belly, it sucks that flavour up of the char, of the smoke. So it's really, really good to cook over charcoal if you want, and that's the belly of any fish is great. Salmon belly is a little bit fattier again, so it's absolutely beautiful when it's cooked over charcoal. All right, pop. Now this will only take about, because we've got no skin, this will only take about 4 minutes to cook through. About 6 minutes if you've got skin, because that skin soaks up a lot of that heat. So you've got to cook it for a little bit longer to get it nice and crispy. This way we don't have to worry about that, so it's a really quick cooking time. So pop that in. Like I said, on a medium heat, about 4 minutes, 2 minutes one side, 2 minutes the other, then we'll rest it for a couple of minutes and we're ready to serve. So that nice, soft, smooth, packed full of flavour puree will go so well with this perfectly cooked fish. Pop that on top. A little bit of salt on top of our fish. There we go. Avocado puree with a really simple and quick pan-seared white fish. You could use kingfish if you wanted to, blue eye like I have, striped trumpeter, any of those white flesh fish go really well with this. Salmon, which has that natural fat content and the omega-3s, doesn't really need the avocado puree underneath it. The leaner fish, which tend to be a little bit drier, goes perfectly with that avocado puree just to keep everything nice and moist.